Awesome. Hey, everybody. So, hugest welcome to all of you for getting on the call tonight. We really appreciate your time. I am very excited about this call, and I have been since Nat and I decided to put this together. So, we're calling it the Foodie and the Naturopath. I'm the Naturopath part, and Natalie Baldock is the Foodie part. And we're really excited. We actually went a little bit of background. We went to high school together. We went in different directions. We reconnected a couple of years ago, and I had no idea what Nat was up to, and she said, I'm a whole food coach, and she already knew I was a naturopath because I did my training about 20 years ago when we lived together. So we're really excited that we're on a very similar journey, but we thought, what a good idea to get different perspectives on different health issues that we're most commonly seeing in our practices. And the perspective from me as a naturopath and Natalie as a foodie. So we hope to give you a whole heap of information, and we thought the number one thing we'll start off with is gut health. So my name is Noreen Macdonald, for those of you that I haven't met, and I really appreciate you being on the call. So let's get into the guts of it. There's going to be a few puns in there too, a couple of crackers. I want to see everybody laughing at my jokes. So gut health, it is the big thing around at the moment, but to be totally honest, it has been the big thing that's been around for centuries, longer than centuries, is in every ancient community, they really focused in on people's gut health and detoxification in general. And it's making a resurgence simply because we are seeing a huge amount of issues, aren't we, globally nowadays. So we know that we're living in a world full of chemicals. As much as we might try individually to minimize them, there's still cars that drive on the road. There's still pesticides and herbicides that are sprayed on our vegetables. There's still chemicals that are used in plastics and all sorts of stuff. So we're literally taking a barrage of toxins into our body as best as we try to minimize it. We also nowadays in the modern world, I would say most people are dealing with a medium to high level of stress. And we know that stress affects the gut because the entire gut is covered in nerves. So I see in my practice all the time people coming in, and sometimes they kind of go, oh, my mental state's got nothing to do with my gut. And I say, hold on a minute. Let's look at what the role of the gut is. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We also know that antibiotics are getting prescribed more than ever. Maybe some of you on the call don't take antibiotics, and thumbs up if you don't. But we do know that the exposure to antibiotics as well and pharmaceutical medicines is decreasing our gut integrity. So I want to introduce the gut as a temple. That's how we need to start seeing our digestive tract. Okay, it really is the seat of our body. It's where our solar plexus lies. It's the seat of our power. It's the seat of our energy and our immune system, and also our moods. It does so much more than, to be honest, what I ever thought that it did. It doesn't just digest your food and push out a bit of poop. Okay, it's doing all the work for our body. So really, to get truly, truly healthy, we need to come back to the health of our gut. And we're going to talk about how, or Nat's going to talk more specifically about how to do that towards the end of the call. This is only a half an hour call, so please try to stay on through the whole thing. So nowadays we're seeing an epidemic, aren't we? I'm definitely seeing it in my clinic, a huge amount of autoimmune conditions. I mean, when I was a kid, that terminology wasn't really around. So it's on the increase, and we definitely know that the medical fraternity, they generally don't know how to deal with autoimmune conditions that well. It's usually a little bit put to the side, it's a little bit overprescribed, and I actually personally think that's because they don't really understand the huge paramount importance of the role of your gut. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So anything to do with food allergies, IBS, I mean, who do you not know that doesn't have IBS? It's so common. Irritable bowel syndrome. All a syndrome means is somebody has to have 3 symptoms and they're put into IBS. Okay, we've got Crohn's, we've got multiple food allergies that people are seeing. We have, as I said, autoimmune conditions, depression. You know, last week I saw a 17-year-old girl who came into my clinic on multiple medications, and she's on antidepressants. And I'll be honest, I left that consultation and I came home to my husband and I said, oh my God, I actually started crying because it really worries me. We're doing something very wrong. If we have teenagers that are on antidepressants, okay? So I'm seeing multiple teenagers at the moment who are all trying to go vegan because they think it's cool. None of them are doing it correctly, and none of them are nourishing their bowel. Their gut health is shit. Sorry about the pun. That's pun number 2. I'm going to get a few in tonight. So it's really important that we start to see the connection, and this is the part, one of the parts of the gut I get really excited about, is the connection between your bowel health and your moods. Who ever thought that your gut health could affect your moods and how you feel? But you know what? It really does. And whoever thought that your gut could be responsible for the state of your immune system? Guess what? Massive part to play. Okay, so I want you to really understand that this temple that we need to start nourishing does so many things in your body on a daily basis. Okay, so what are the things that I see in clinic that destroy your gut integrity? Number 1 is gluten and wheat. Okay, we are not really designed to digest gluten and wheat. So I use a bioresonance machine to test people for food allergies, and the 2 most common things, to be honest, it's actually wheat and dairy, and gluten comes 3rd. So what I say to people is, if you want to have a better gut integrity, you want to start to minimize those foods and start learning how to cook without relying on wheat and dairy. Okay, wheat inflames the gut and dairy congests the gut. The other thing that really ruins your gut integrity is processed foods. It worries me that here in Nelson in New Zealand, it's, we only have a population between here and Richmond of 60,000 people. Just in Nelson itself, we have 4 big chain supermarkets. 2 of them are countdowns. For those of you in Australia, you won't know what that means. But I literally walk into the supermarket and it is row upon row upon row of packaged foods, which means that the large portion of the population is eating those foods that contain, I classify them as dead foods. They're literally giving your body nothing and they're ruining the integrity of people's guts. The 4th thing is overuse of antibiotics and pharmaceutical drugs. And we know that when we take antibiotics, not only does it strip away the bacteria that, you're trying to aim at, but it also strips away all of that good beneficial bacteria as well. So what happens when our gut integrity starts to go down is we don't absorb our nutrients properly, and we know that if we don't absorb nutrients, we can't heal ourselves. Really important thing to remember. We know that the immune system, there's 80% of your lymphatic tissue located in your gut. Did you know that? I mean, I think that's astounding, which is why I'm on a bit of a mission when I see mums feeding their kids loads of wheat and dairy to say, and they've got that snot thing between their nose and their lip and it becomes really normal. It's not normal. That cough that lasts all winter, that's not normal. So we need to pare back the diet to give their little digestive systems a break from these foods so they can actually breathe and function and absorb their nutrition. So when we destroy our gut, really what we're doing is we're destroying our microbiome. So your microbiome, and you guys would have all heard of this. It's fantastic that doctors nowadays are literally prescribing probiotic bacteria, but Nat's going to talk a little bit more about the goods and the bads of that in a little while. Okay? And the big word of the day, hands up if you've heard of leaky gut. I really want to see a hands up. Who knows what leaky gut is? Okay, cool. So a few people, a lot more to be honest than I thought would. So I want to just very quickly go through what leaky gut is, guys. So in the gut, I'm actually going to draw a picture if you don't mind. I'm not the world's best drawer, so don't play Pictionary with me. But in the gut, we have these beautiful little cells called enterocytes. And these little cells have little hairs on them. Okay, so the role of the gut really is to absorb nutrition through these hairs. I should have drawn it the other way around. Sorry, it's going this way. And I want you to start to think of your gut like a house. This is the easiest way I explain it to my clients. So let's say, for example, in your house, if you don't clean your house, what happens? If it gets really stagnant, okay, the cockroaches move in, the rats and the mice move in, it starts to have a funny smell. People don't, or, nice people don't want to come over. It's a very similar concept with your gut, okay? The housekeepers of your gut is the probiotic bacteria. It's the beneficial microbiome. And they are the little good guys around here that look after the entire mucosa or the lining of your gut. Okay, when food should be digested through the small intestine. When it ends up in the bowel, it should be completely broken down. But what happens over time is when these good guys, the probiotic bacteria, are no longer so happy and they're getting overrun by bacteria and funguses like candida, like parasites, like pathogens, which I'm commonly seeing in practice, the little good guys, they start to die out and everything else takes over. And this gut wall integrity starts to break down. And what we start to see is these cells here are meant to be tight junctions, okay? But we start to get gaps in the gut mucosa, and then what we're seeing is undigested food particles, toxins, candida, parasites, whatever it is, they start to pass through the lining of your gut and they end up in the bloodstream. That's not really where they're meant to be, because you have a very good immune system that comes along and says, I don't recognize that. What is that food particle? I'm going to develop an antibody towards that. So autoimmune diseases, they explain it to us like your body's immune system is attacking itself. It's attacking your own body. Actually, a better explanation is leaky gut, where things are in your bloodstream that shouldn't be, and your immune system is actually doing its job and it's trying to protect you against things that are not meant to be in your bloodstream. So healing the gut is primarily important. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the two brains. Okay, we've got this brain, my brain up here, that's talking to all of you, but you also have what's called an enteric brain, which is your gut brain. Did you know that? Your brain up here and your brain in your gut actually talk to each other all the time. You have 37 trillion cells in the human body, but you have 100 trillion bacteria in your gut. So we're actually more made up of this bacteria than we are of our own cells, which is why the health of that microbiome is absolutely essential. Okay, 75% of your neurotransmitters are manufactured in your gut. So your feel-good hormone, your serotonin, a lot of it is made in your gut, not in your brain, which I believe is why we have a huge, huge prevalence of depression hitting humanity right now, okay? We need to go beyond taking antidepressants, and we need to get to the cause of what is going on in people's bodies. Globally, we need to do this for people. Okay, so what do? I've explained the gut. You understand leaky gut, candida, all those issues that we're seeing commonly with all sorts of people around the world. Is we need to heal the gut, obviously, but how do we do it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it over to Natalie Baldock, and she is going to talk a little bit more about how to actually do this. Here she is.
Hi, how are we all? I've just got a battery issue, so anyway, just bear with me. Can everyone see me properly? Okay, great. Can you hear me, everyone? Beautiful. Okay, all right. So I've had to come into the park and do this outside. I love what we do online. It's so exciting. You have to just make do. But look, I love what Noreen just said. Like, from a naturopath's perspective, this is incredible to know what is actually going on, what's causing all these gut issues for people. And it's really self-explanatory. The overuse of this or the overuse of that, or, you know, too much stress, or, you know, geopathic stress, or, you know, mobile phones, or poor quality food, or, you know, too many antibiotics. And this is the major problem. But what do we do about it? The most important thing is, what do we do about it? And there are so many areas that we need to focus on and address, but we need to simplify it so nobody gets overwhelmed with it. So there's 120 strains of good quality bacteria that need to coexist in the gut for you to have harmony. So the bacteria aids in the digestion of good quality foods. Now, it also aids in the digestion of bad quality foods. And when your gut is good, you can almost digest anything. And that's why for so many years, through the 60s, 70s and 80s, when the introduction of poor quality food was actually newborn into our life, most of us had really tough guts. But over the generations and over time, our children who are in their, you know, their early stages of life, and teenage children, they're suffering with all these conditions because the only thing they've ever known is poor quality food. And this is the thing that's so hard. Like, I talk to teenage kids and I talk to kids in their early 20s, and they've only ever known processed food. And then we talk to people in their 40s and 50s, and they used to know fruit and veg as a staple part of their diet. And the occasional takeaway food was once a week, once a fortnight, once a month. That was something that was always so inflated in price. Whereas now, for $1 you can get a burger, $1 you can get some chips. You know, it is so much cheaper to buy crappy food. But let's talk about this for a second. The minute you put processed food into the gut, it stimulates dopamine, and dopamine makes you dopey. It's a reward drug. So the more crap you put in your body, the crappier you feel. Now, in actual fact, what dopamine does is it stops tryptophan from stimulating serotonin. So all of a sudden we've got too much dopamine, tryptophan's not stimulating serotonin, so the happy hormones are not arriving in the brain and we don't feel good. But the thing is, we get this mini reward of feeling every time we have junk food. We go, oh, reward, and I feel good for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden the dopamine sets in, the tryptophan doesn't stimulate the serotonin, and we just feel down. So we go up, down, up, down, up, down. This becomes a real addictive cycle for so many people. Let's talk about how we can stop that cycle once and for all and make it really, really simple. First of all, breathe. Oxygen is the fuel for digestion. So yoga practice, meditation, mindfulness, breath work, exercise where you're really bringing oxygen into the gut needs to be focused on for at least 10 minutes a day. If you can just run, walk, run, walk, run, walk, that's enough oxygen in the gut to stimulate your digestion. And if you do that at the start of the day, that's really going to help with your prebiotic and probiotic foods. And it's really going to help with all the digestion of the good nutrition that you eat over the course of the day. The second thing that's really, really important is water. The right type of water, rainwater or good quality spring water or excellent quality filtered water. And I tell you what, some of those filters are mighty expensive. But if you can get yourself at least a good quality spring water, something that can be delivered to your home, and you can have that each and every day, that's excellent. Now, how much water do you need? You need 40 mils of water per kilo of body weight each and every day. So if you're 60 kilos, you need 2.4 litres of water each and every day as a minimum. And that will really aid in flushing out the toxins and filling the body full of mineral nutrition, because in spring water, there are essential minerals that actually aid digestion. The third thing we need to do is focus on veggies over fruit. So veggies come from the ground mostly. And so when they're pulled from the ground, they have bacteria around the roots, they have dirt all over them. Veggies are very low in sugar in comparison to fruit. And the more vegetables we eat, the stronger the immune system we build and the more gut harmony we have. This amazing nutrition from vegetables actually stimulates excellent gut health, which means that we digest food better and we produce serotonin. So tryptophan gets stimulated, serotonin gets created, and the brain gets told, I'm happy, I'm harmonious, I'm connected, I'm healthy, and I'm joyful. So that there really, when as a food coach, what I see in people all the time is those who eat very limited fruit and veg and tons of junk food are on the dopamine up and down cycle, never very happy and in a really addictive state. And then people that eat between 3, maybe 5, even up to 7 cups of fruit and veg generally tend to be healthier and healthier and healthier. So when someone's eating, 7 to 10 cups of raw, fresh fruits and vegetables each and every day, but predominantly veggies, we see a massive increase in their happiness. And it really is this easy. 1 juice in the morning, a smoothie after your exercise, maybe a salad at lunchtime with some protein and good fats, so a fish and salad with a good dressing. And then at night time, a beautiful hearty bone broth with lots of veggies all the way through. And this is a perfect recipe for success for somebody to have excellent gut health. Now, fermented foods is the big one. This is the one that speeds up the production of good quality bacteria. So we have things like bone broth. Bone broth is excellent for gut health. There's a lot of mineral nutrition in the bones, and when you simmer your bone broth for 24 to 48 hours, you actually pull out all the good minerals, and those minerals act like fast-acting mineral nutrition and healing power for the gut. So bone broth is a really good fermented food. Now, the other fermented foods are things like sauerkraut and kimchi. And as long as they're done in a very good quality manner, they're raw, organic, and they're done properly, just with water and salt over a 2 to 4 day period. This type of food actually stimulates amazing amounts of nutrition in the gut and stimulates more flora to be produced, good quality flora. And that's why sauerkrauts are mostly grated vegetables and mostly cabbage. We see a lot of mineral nutrition in this. The other things that are really important for gut health too is also things like your kefir yogurts. You can have a coconut kefir, a milk kefir, a water kefir, and these things are really high in nutrition. Apparently there's 10,000 different high quality bacterias inside a 750 ml bottle of kefir. Now that's powerful stuff. Then you've got your kombuchas, and there's just so many different types of fermented foods. Now, why are there so many different types of fermented foods? Because we don't just need one type, we need multiple types. So we should be having kombucha, we should be having kefir, we should be having, sauerkrauts and kimchis with our food. The Japanese certainly know how to eat, and they have the best gut health in the world, and they have no obesity crisis because in every single meal, in one of the corners on their little trays, they have kimchi. They have some sort of fermented, vegetable on their plate every time, and that helps digest all the other foods. So it's powerful. When we talk about supplementation, as in fermented supplements, what we do wrong is we go off to the pharmacy and go and get us some acidophilus or bifidus. We might go to the supermarket and get some yogurt with added acidophilus and bifidus. And because we are only focusing on 2 strains of good quality bacteria, we're missing the other 118. So that's why we need sauerkrauts, we need kimchis, we need kefir, we need kombucha, we need all this stuff. And it's really easy to implement. 1 bottle of kombucha can be bought, and you can have just a capful every single day, a couple of capfuls every single day, or 40, 50 mils in a little glass. And then you can have your kefir as a base for your desserts, or a base for your smoothies, and then your sauerkraut can go in your veggies and your salad every single day, and your bone broth can be a staple part of your evening meal. And this is going to rebuild the gut flora so you can absorb nutrition and feel much more powerful in yourself. But last and not least is my favorite way to heal the gut health, and it's a very simple way, and it's something that was presented to me 8.5 years ago, and this is Juice Plus. Noreen and I have both been on Juice Plus for a number of years now. There are many people on this call that are very au fait with Juice Plus, but Juice Plus is a fruit and vegetable and berry concentrate that is actually the sediment in the bottom of a cold pressed juice. That sediment in the bottom of a cold pressed juice is actually the power to the juice. The actual liquid of the juice is just the water and some of the sugar. And what happens with Juice Plus is we actually handpick really good quality, organically grown and traditionally farmed fruits and vegetables. And what we do is we pulp it and then dehydrate it, and we take that pulp, and that's what we put into our capsules. And it's a very high quality formula. It's not like a multivitamin where you see 25 to 30 components that are synthetic and isolated that work on some parts of the body, but not all parts of the body. Juice Plus particularly is 12,544 known nutrients. It is like bombing the body full of great quality nutrition with none of the sugar, none of the water, and 97% of the fiber removed. We leave 3% of the fiber in there so it aids in digestion and metabolism. So what I see in my clients as a food coach is I see that people that increase their fruits and vegetables, people that breathe and drink more water, people that focus on lots of good quality ferments, and people that take Juice Plus are the ones that heal very fast. So Juice Plus is just a simple whole food concentrate. You've got berries, you've got fruit, and you've got vegetables. They are tested under 20 parts per 1 million, gluten-free, no herbicides, no pesticides, no contaminants, no binders, no fillers. There is nothing in it that is anything but fruit and veg, and the capsules are palulum, which is tapioca. You take your 2 fruit, your 2 veg, and your 2 berry capsules every single day, and it just bombs the body full of great quality nutrition. So my rhythm each day is to wake up in the morning, take my Juice Plus with 2 big glasses of water, go for a walk or a run, come home and have my smoothie. And we have a great formula in the Juice Plus company called Juice Plus Complete, and it is a whole forming meal. So when I say whole forming, what I'm talking about is that it has good quality plant-based protein and good quality plant-based carbohydrates, as in veggies and superfoods, and then it has good quality plant-based fats with vitamin D extract from mushrooms, and then a vitamin B12 extract for vegans and vegetarians who aren't necessarily getting those B vitamins. And this has been a formula that I've thrown into my smoothie after my exercise every morning for about 8.5 years now, and absolutely love that little routine that I've adopted. It makes me feel tremendous. And then by the time I get to lunchtime, I feel like my salad with my protein and my fats. I feel like, you know, having a really good quality dinner each and every day. It sets me up in a really wonderful way. And this is how I teach each and every single client to rhythm around their food. So Noreen's just saying, plus they make soy products properly. So in our Juice Plus Complete, one of the foundational formulas is soy. And I lived in Japan for five years, just on 5 years. And everyone eats soy there, but there's no problem with soy in Japan. And the reason being is because it's traditionally farmed and certified organic, grown in a natural environment and fermented in the correct way. But when we Americanize it or Australianize soy, and we take genetically modified soy and ferment it with white sugars, we create xenoestrogens in the soy. And we don't use that type of soy. We use a Japanese, organic Japanese, traditionally farmed, traditionally washed, and traditionally fermented soy. And it's a very powerful mineral formula for rebuilding gut health. Juice Plus Complete has also got a prebiotic nature, which stimulates digestion and metabolism. And that's why we see so many people who start taking the Juice Plus Complete naturally feel so amazing, and the byproduct of feeling amazing is to lose weight. So these formulas are fantastic. And we also have a kids product which is identical to the adults formula, just in a gummy formula. So it's bound with fruit pectins and sweetened with evaporated cane juice extract. And you know, the amount of sugar that's in a daily dose for a kid is less than half an orange. So we're a one-stop shop. And the reason why Noreen and I are going to do these calls and educate people on the power of whole food nutrition and, you know, and actual amazing therapies that can help people heal from certain conditions and diseases, because we feel very passionately about the synergy between Juice Plus and also whole food nutrition. In Noreen's clinic and in my practice, I have seen too many people over the last 9 years heal from such tragic and awful issues inside their body when they've had no hope and been told it was over. We've seen so many amazing transitions to better health, to symptoms not being quite so severe. And it's something that we're both very passionate about. So hopefully you've enjoyed this call, and hopefully you've got a little bit about it. And one of the things I think that's really important is if any of this information has stimulated you in a way where you want to ask more questions, or you want to have a look closer into the Juice Plus products, all you need to do is invite, ask the person that invited you on the call to really respond to those questions. And if there's anything difficult, Noreen and I will definitely answer those over Facebook Messenger. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that jumped on the call. We really appreciate your time.
Awesome.
And thank you to Noreen.
Thanks, Nat. Isn't she gorgeous? I actually love it that you're transmitting from the park. It's quite nice to see that sunshine floating through, isn't it, guys? So just to sum it up, everyone, gut health 101. Number 1, deep breathing. Okay, if you don't know how to deep breathe, Google it. Number 2, water, lots of it. Flush your body, flood your body with water. Number 3, work out a system where you de-stress, because the gut is covered in nerves, okay? Whether that's yoga or exercise or reading, every single day connecting in and de-stressing. Number 4, flood your body with plants in as many ways as you can, including taking the Juice Plus capsules, because that's going to super boost your plant nutrition intake to another level. Number 5, bone broth if you're not a vegetarian, okay? Number 6, a variety of fermented foods. And number 7, amazing amounts of sleep, okay? It's really important. We know that sleep is one of the greatest healers. And I would say number 7 is love. You need to love your body. Put your hands on your stomach, start connecting in with your organs, send them good vibrations, good healing and good energy, and you'll take your gut health to the next level. Any questions, please reach out to Natalie or I, and we really appreciate all of you for getting on the call tonight. We've seen so many people on this call, and next month we'll be doing something else. We haven't decided yet, but we hope you enjoyed the call, and we thank you so much for joining us. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all the comments. It's lovely. See ya.